January 31st. Crazy time, right? Let me go ahead and get people notified that I am live. Put it on my Facebook and in my group chat that I have. Give me just a moment to refresh. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a good week. All right, I see it live on my channel, which means I can grab the link, copy, and post there. And where did that chat go? That's not where I wanted to go. Silly mama. Chicks are for kids. I went to the wrong place, folks. Almost there. All right, here I am. I see that there's somebody watching me. Let's see if I can find out who it is. Who's here with me? It says there's people watching. Say hello in the chat so I know you're here. I would love to be able to say hello back to you. So what are we gonna do today? I'm gonna do a one sheet wonder, and I had posted in my Facebook group earlier today asking people to give me some colors to use. So I got several colors and I added one or two myself just to kind of fill it out. Hello, Miss Ida. I had an Aunt Ida out of Maine here in the US. She was a lovely lady. Anyways, so I'm gonna do a one sheet wonder using, what do I have here? Lots of pretty colors. Coastal Cabana and Lost Lagoon and Crushed Curry and Misty Moonlight and Pumpkin Pie. Hello, Miss Michelle. Berry Burst and Granny Apple Green. And Cottage Rose. I will show you all of that in a minute. I didn't bring any samples with me because I left them on the kitchen table of things that I received for my latest swap. I'm a little discombobulated. I was prepping for the March virtual that I'm holding, and I've never done this before, but I think that all of my stuff will be ready to go out this weekend, even though I'm still a month away, which is kind of awesome. I've never been in that spot before, so I am excited about that. I don't really have much else to say, so let me flip the camera and we'll get started. All right, let me see, where are we on the camera? I think I probably need to go up a little bit so you have a little bit better view. Just waiting for my camera to catch up. Hello, Deb. Oh, I'm sorry your family didn't show up, but I'm glad you're here. So, this is a set that I haven't used in a while, but I like playing with it, so I decided today we were going to do a little bit of throwback and use Cottage Rose, and maybe we'll add something into it, I'm not sure. And then we've got colors. Coastal Cabana, Lost Lagoon, Crushed Curry, Misty Moonlight, and Pumpkin Pie were chosen by the folks in my group. And then I wanted to add a little bit of green, so I went with Granny Apple, and just a pop of color with Berry Burst. Hello, Miss Cindy. So that's what we're going to be using today. I also have pulled out my blending brushes because, as you saw on the stamp set, it's an outline stamp with a little bit of detail. So I think we're going to play with some blending brushes and see what we come up with. So how's everybody doing? Tell me what's going on. Say hello to each other. Deb, I'm glad you like the colors. I am going to pull out some stamps here. We're going to start with the biggest one. Let's see if this is a big enough block here. Yeah, I think I'll try one. Oh no, it's the same size. We'll make it work. We always do, right? Just have to be a little persnickety putting that on. It will work. And then this guy, and we've got some of these. So we'll pull those and put them on a block. Your oldest sister is celebrating 90 years young this weekend. That is amazing. Is that who was supposed to come today? Are you guys going to do something fun to celebrate? All right, so I have all my stamps on block, so let me get the case out of the way, and we're going to get started. Whoa, what did I just do? I hit the button, and my video on my computer is now a little bit off, so let me just, I like to look at the computer, A, so I can see the comments, and B, so that I can make sure that I am staying in screen, because sometimes it's easy to move so that you are no longer in screen. So I'm going to start with the Misty Moonlight and use that as my outline for my stamps. On my big guy here. And I'm going to make a nice big cluster in the center, and then we're going to work out from there. 1 of 10. Holy cow. My dad, it's kind of funny. There's, so my dad is one of many children. The problem is nobody's really sure how many. My grandma had a couple of different husbands, and there's a debate on whether there's 8 kids or 11 kids. I don't know how that's a debate, but it is. So my dad is in the youngest set of children. So he and my Aunt Barbara and my Aunt Jean are all very close in age. I think they're just barely 3 years between the 3 of them. And those are the ones that I know the best, as well as my Aunt Martha, who I think she was one of the oldest. But at some point, she ended up helping to raise the younger ones. All right, so we got a big cluster here. I think I'm going to put some in the corners too. Why not, right? Let's get this thing going out here. I need a piece of scrap paper. Hello, Miss Georgiana. Did you have a good birthday? I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to get my little scrap paper here. All right, who's my football fans? Who's excited about the Super Bowl and who's playing, and who is sad that their team is not playing? Me. I really wanted Detroit to win, just because they haven't been there in so long that it would have been really cool to see them have that opportunity. All those years that they suffered with the great Barry Sanders and got nothing to show for it. It's a little bit crazy. That would be like, I don't even know. I was going to say like Tom Brady without a Super Bowl. But I guess the Super Bowls were kind of what made them great, right? Along with everything else. So Cindy wanted a Lions and Chiefs game. It was weird. Hey, Kathy, my husband does not like Baltimore, but he was rooting for Baltimore. And I'm like, you understand what you're telling me does not make sense, right? He's like, I know. But it was kind of funny. All right, we've got some florals going on here. So that was Misty Moonlight. I totally forgot to wet my cloth that I used to clean my stamps, so this ought to be interesting. I want to get at least the majority of the ink off. All right, so we have some smaller flowers I want to get in there. We've got this guy here, and I would like to use, ooh, I think we're going to use the pumpkin pie. So do people on the call here today, on this live, tell me, do you use outline stamps like this in your one sheet wonders? Is it something you like to do? Is it something you've thought of but said, I don't know how to do? Because it can be a challenge, but the blending brushes will really help with that. Because you look at it and go, oh, it's a bunch of lines. Some people don't like it that way, but I need to figure out where this is going. But we're gonna make it work. I did one several months ago using, I don't know if it was this stamp set or maybe the, what's it called? I can see it in my head. It's relatively new. It was an online exclusive. Hello, Miss Lisa and Miss Patricia and Glenna. Hello, hello. All right. And I'm going to put a little bit over here. It's okay if they overlap because they do that in nature, right? Just want to get a little bit of the orange into the corners there. All right, it's starting to fill out. Next we have these little guys. They're a threesome. And we're gonna go with some berry burst. There was something that happened I was going to tell y'all today, but I can't for the life of remember what it was. Who's with me on that? You would have secretly, yes, it is translucent florals. Thank you, Miss Michelle. Trying to get these flowers to extend into some of the white spaces here. And maybe a little bit over here. And here. And then I feel like, did that make you guys dizzy when I just flipped the paper around like that? Hope not. All right, so we have some color going on throughout the page. So that was Berry Burst. All right, so now I'm gonna play with my blending brushes. And we used the Misty Moonlight on our big stamps. So I'm going to pull out the Coastal Cabana and start adding some color to those guys. So let me get a little bit of this off the side. And just inking it up a little bit. And then getting some of it off so I don't end up with big smudge spots like that. And then I'm going to start to add some color to those flowers. So I think I told you guys last week and maybe before that, we have a big event coming up in March where we are going to do a hybrid event, and we will have people in person in Billerica, Massachusetts. It is St. Patrick's Day weekend, so it starts on Friday and runs Saturday and Sunday. And so we are about half full with that. And then we're also offering a virtual event, and I run that one. So if you are interested in that, let me know. I know there's a couple people on the line today that have been to my virtuals. If you have any questions about the virtuals, I'd love to have you ask them. And my friends here can help me answer them if I don't see them. Or if you have questions for people that have attended. They are very sharing people, so I'm putting them right on the spot here. I didn't tell them I was going to do this. Mostly because I didn't know they were going to be here. So if you have any questions about either the in-person or virtual event, please ask them in the chat. Hi, Carla. Kathy, what's your favorite part about the virtuals? I saw that you said that they're so much fun. So this process, it takes a little while, as you can see, as I'm sitting here going in circles and circles. And I'm not being real particular about getting the whole flower. I'm just trying to give it the essence of color. But it's a different look than just using solid stamps, so I wanted to give it a roll on camera so y'all could see it. If I wanted to get real particular about the color, I would have had to make a mask and all that, and that kind of takes the fun out of it. I like having a little bit of creative license. Creative license, as they say. My husband and I watched a movie last night, and it was not at all what we expected. You know, you read the words that they write about what the movie's about, and you go, oh, okay. And then sometimes you have no idea how they came up with those words. And other times you go, that's really vague, I have no idea what it's going to be about. So I don't remember the name of the movie, but it said that it was the publisher who was going on a road trip with the man who made her put the blah, blah, easy for me to say, right? Who put the publishing company on the map 50 years ago. And the woman, the publisher, was the daughter of the original owner. And the author was this old gentleman, and I use that term lightly because he was not very gentlemanly. He was old and curmudgeon-y and just didn't want to do things. So it was interesting. It was very it was not family friendly. The language was definitely not family friendly. But I just looked at my husband when it was over, and I'm like, what did we just watch? In the end, there was a reason he was the way he was. And you could kind of sense it. You can see here I didn't get enough of that ink off. But that's all right. We're looking for some depth, right? I had my monthly Gab Fest with my friends from school this weekend, and we're on the phone for like 2.5 hours. Usually it's only about an hour, but part of that's because we do it at noon on Sundays, and I'm often saying, okay, time to go watch a football game. But that was not the case this weekend. All right, I'm just taking a look and see what's going on here. Kathy says, she loves all the people and love how we do the open Zoom crafting and chatting. Yes, that's my favorite part. Well, it's one of my favorite parts. I love the teaching, but we run that Zoom from 8 o'clock Friday night until the last person says I'm done. And then we open it up again Saturday morning, and it runs all day and all night until everybody's done. And people come and go based upon whatever they've got going on for the weekend. And so some people might have worked on Friday night, so they're, not with us Friday night, but they're with us on Saturday and Sunday. And some people have to take their kids to basketball or take their dad to lunch or whatever the case may be. And so we're all there. I do put together an agenda that we mostly follow. I mean, we might change it a little bit if there are people that can't make something that they really want to make. The folks are very flexible, but we have a guideline. It's a guideline. Cindy just finished binging season 3 of Murders in the Building. We were watching it. We didn't love it. So we stopped recording it. I should say my husband didn't love it. I was okay with it. It was different. I think we only watched like 5 episodes of it. All right. Now, if I had our little blending brushes, this might be a little bit easier on these pink ones, but that's all right. As I said, we're just kind of giving the essence of color, not being too precise. Michelle says, Claudine is so patient with us and always teaches us something new during the virtuals. The best thing for me is our conversation, laughter, and support within the group. I agree. People bounce ideas off each other all the time. And I love seeing how, given the same set of information, everybody can come up with something totally unique. Because a lot of what we do is with using your own supplies. So Michelle might use something, in the fall colors, and Kathy might use something in the pastels, and Bridget would likely go towards the brights. And so everything is different, which is kind of fun. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you. Oops, I missed one over here. So clearly you can see that the bigger ones are easier to do. All right. Later today, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, I will be posting in my group about our Friday night, what do I call it? Finish It Friday, where that's just a casual get-together of whoever happens to want to join us. Some people are crafting, some people are just visiting. It's on Zoom, it's free, and it's just a nice way for people to be able to spend some time together and chat with other people. And we've had people from all over the country, as far west as Arizona, no, California and Arizona, and some from the southeast and northeast. So this is crushed curry. So we just started this a couple weeks ago, and it's just nice to be able to end the week and know that you got some time set aside to craft, and there's no agenda. Last week my friend was putting pictures into picture frames. She was like redoing all of her pictures and cleaning the frames and putting new pictures in while she chatted with us. And we had a new friend, well, new participant. She's not done any of my virtuals before, but she came and joined us, and she was working with mass, and it was lots and lots of fun. So if that is something that interests you and you are not in my group, go ahead and find the group link in the description, and you can join us. So what are you thinking so far? You like this? Ooh, I hit my other lamp. All right. I'm kind of digging it. All right, what else we got going on in the chat here? I am scrolling up to see what y'all are talking about. Oh, that's no fun, Carla. Zoom, yeah, Zoom has made the world go round, but not for everybody, I think. Yes, the games are funny, especially when we play Family Feud. And yes, I agree, the chemistry between the actors on Only Murders in the Building is pretty good. Just scrolling through. Hi, Nicole. Whoops. All right, I think I'm caught up. Yes, maybe it does need some dottage. We'll get there. Michelle, this is Cottage Rose, which is retired. So this is a throwback. This is a throwback project. Sometimes you gotta give your old stamps some love. All right. I'm thinking, well, you might want to use a sponge dauber. I love my sponge daubers. And we got it over here. Thank you, Miss Carla. I like it too. Thank you, Miss Kathy. I don't know why I call everybody Miss. I do it at work too. So I pulled out my sponge dauber just because the leaves are a little bit small and I didn't want to get too messy. I know I'm not worrying about coloring in the lines. That's not the objective today. But I wanted to at least be, you know, somewhat close. Yeah, it's kind of relaxing. Michelle, you could totally do this with translucent florals. Happy perky colors and pretty soft colors. Well, you know what? I didn't choose them. In my group this morning, or maybe at lunchtime, I posted, hey, give me some colors you want me to use tonight. and they came up with all the colors, and then I added only the this green and the berry burst, just because I needed a little bit more to fill it out. Anybody got any good plans this weekend? I have no idea what I'm doing this weekend. So it is January 31st, so we are at the end of a whole month of the year. And I figured this weekend, or the other day, I've left my house exactly 3 times. Once was to go get my eye exam, and I told you how that all turned out last week with the whole car situation. Once to go to the post office to mail out my swaps that I did last week, and once to go to the dentist. I really need to get a life outside of my house. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just need to sit here at my desk and craft more. I don't know. What do you think? Carla did the stippled roses using pastels. Ceramics pastels. Cool. Hi, Ellen. Thank you very much. We are being non-specific on some of this. Like it's kind of an impression. Little whimsy. All right, I think I've got everything pretty much covered in. So I need to get a good dottage. So give me a minute to look at my stamp sets and see which one has some dottage that I want to use. Oh, my foot fell asleep. This might take a little bit longer than a second. Hard to walk when your foot is asleep. Notes of nature. It has this lovely dottage here, and it has this grid mark, which I like using to fill up some of the white space. I don't want to fill all the white space. I like a little white space. It's easy on the eyes. I went upstairs towards the end of my workday today, and my husband's like, it was just this verbal blah, 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 blah. And I just looked at him and said, you laid an awful lot on me. I'm not ready for this. Evidently, the car that we just had to have serviced, it took them 15 minutes to put in a half a tank of gas today. Which, you know, that doesn't seem like an appropriate amount of time. So we have to have that checked out. And then my daughter called, and the other car that she has at school is making rattling noises at low speeds. So I'm gonna have to have that checked out. So, too much. All right, what do you think? Enough dottage? Does it need anything more? I like this dotted stamp too. It's nothing specific, and you can like layer it to get different effects on it. So, all right, I think I used all the colors. We've got Lost Lagoon Dottage. We've got pumpkin pie and crushed curry on these flowers here. We used Berry Burst for the outline and for the coloring. We used Misty Moonlight and Coastal Cabana for the big flowers. And then Granny Apple Green on the leaves. Michelle, you're too kind. Nothing's perfect, but I kind of like it. Shall we make something out of it? Do you guys want to make some cards? Shall we finish it from start to finish, as opposed to just the sheet? Just kind of making a little room on my desk here in case y'all say yes. Ah, Glenna says yes. All right, let me just make some room here, and then we shall make some cards. All right. Ink is away. Stamps are almost away, or at least out of the way, where I'm not going to put my arm in them. All right. So, what colors do we want to use today for our cards? Like I've got a few of these already cut and scored. So we can start with that while you guys are telling me what color cardstocks we would like to marry this with. Ooh, and I'm thinking I might have some pretty DSP to marry it with. I'm going to take a quick look in a second. All right, give me a moment. So, I've got me some of the DSP from the stamp that we were just talking about. So this says Delightful Floral, and it goes with the you know, the one that I was just talking about. Translucent Florals, that's what it was. So this paper is with that, but I think we might be able to use some of it. And so I cut it up into 6x6s, so I have this lovely little clear envelope that I use to keep it in, and then my scraps are in a different clear envelope. So I know we didn't use this color, but is it my imagination, or does that actually go really well with these two combined? Just curious. What else do we have here? We have some Granny Apple. We have, that looks like fresh freesia. What I was really hoping was to find some of this. There we go. We got some leaves. All right, so I'm going to do, what am I gonna do? I think I'm going to put these off to the side, get my my cutter. And we'll start by just doing it in quarters. So that's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I've got 2 of those. And then this one, I'm going to go with, let me try 2 1/2. No, I'm going to go with 3. 3 by 4. And we're going to start there, and I'll leave this off to the side until we get to it. So we got this guy. I really want to get a big piece of this. So what's on the back side? Oh, looks like if I flip this over, I'm going to be where I want to be. Excellent. So I have this piece I just cut 3 by 4. I'm going to do this one at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 so that we'll have a little border. One, 2. It was upside down. And then I'll think, what do you think? It might go on something like that. So there's one idea. I like that one better. Could. You know what? I might put that aside. Maybe we'll do one of each. I like that one better. All right, so we're going to start there. Let me do another 3 by 4. And this stamp set had some lovely sayings too, so that's good. And then I'm going to do this at 4 by 5 1/4. So are you guys believers in, let me see about this. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Are you believers in never making just one? Because I kind of like that idea. And this is the same concept, even though they won't be exactly the same, which I kind of like too. All right, so let's get started with those. Grab a couple of these cards and some glue. Yes, Evening Evergreen is a lovely color. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and put my first layer on the card base. This is kind of one of my go-to types of cards. Sketches, I guess you would say. I do something like this pretty regularly. All right, I'm gonna put this on the green. That was not a clean cut. It happens. So get that guy there. And I think I'm gonna need to cut another one. All right, I'm not seeing a piece of that green big enough, so we will use that lovely color. I wish I could take credit for, pardon me, Cindy, I wish I could take credit for everything I pulled out being beautiful, but you know what? Stampin' Up! Does an amazing job with their artistry. You can make so many beautiful things even if you never stamp, just using their paper products. Okay, maybe some sentiments. That is not what I meant to do. This was supposed to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's what I get for talking and cutting at the same time, right? Michelle, you don't make 2, you make 8. You're one of the most prolific crafters I know. When we do our Zooms, she always gets a ton done. All right, so I think maybe this one here and that one there. Glad I didn't glue it down yet, right? Strip card, big thumbs. Oh, I see what you're saying, Cindy. Yes, I like to, at the end of a crafting session, I will often take my leftovers and make something. All right, so we have a start there. Let's go back to the stamp set now. We've got best wishes. It's going to be Fab. Happy birthday. You are positively the greatest. Friends forever and feel better soon. So let's see which ones. I think maybe best wishes right there would look really nice. It's sticking to me. And then happy birthday, friends forever. Get friends forever. Yeah, I like that. All right, so I think I'm gonna go with believe it or not, I'm going to add a new color. I think Pretty Peacock would go really well. And we have it in the background paper, so it's okay. And that will help us to bring that Pretty Peacock into the forefront. All right. And we're going to have it overlap overlap that flower a little bit. So we've got best wishes. Let's see how straight this is on my block here. Not at all. And because this one has a lot more going on, I think I'm going to pull out a strip of white. I keep all my strips in a little bin right next to my desk. I need to pull this closer so I can be above it. So sorry if you can't see that on camera. I need something a little bit lower. All right, that'll do. And here's my little snips. Because I'm too lazy to pull out the cutter again. Give it a little bit of ink around the edges. I refer to this as my poor man's mat, because when I first started, I didn't have a lot of the products, right? And so I started with inks and stamps. And said, well, I'll just, use the ink to mat my stuff. Works for me. All right. Thank you, Jan. This has been a fun one. I guess I was in a creative mode tonight. Sometimes more so than others, right? Sometimes it just kind of flows naturally, and sometimes, pardon me, sometimes you have to go looking for inspiration. Y'all have seen my sketchbook, right? I know that sometimes I go back to that to come up with new ideas, or to reinvent one that I've already come up with. All right, so this one already has the best wishes on it. This one I'm going to use a little bit of dimensionals. We'll use the minis. Actually, it looks like I could have used the full size, but here we are. We've got minis now. I can't believe this is like number 17 on my YouTube videos. And I think I've been pretty consistent. I think I might have missed one or two along the way. 1 or 2 weeks along the way. But I thank you all for joining me. It's fun to see the chatter in the group, to get ideas from each other, and reminders to add dottage, because I don't always think of it. But I'm always like, yeah, we'll do that. All right, now let's see what I've got handy for embellishments. We've got some blooming pearls, which has gold and green and pink. They don't ever tell us what colors they are. Sometimes in the catalog. A lot of times we're left to guess. So I think I'm going to use some green over here on the one that has the pink background. You can tell that I like these guys because not a lot left. Whoops, almost knocked my cover off. And then I'm going to use the pink over here on this guy. Whoops. Seems to be saying whoops a lot. All right, there we go, 2 quick cards. And we kind of have reached what, I try to keep it under an hour. I don't always succeed, but that's my goal, is to keep these under an hour. So, bye Jan. Thank you, Miss Carla. I'm glad you like them. Bye Cindy and Ellen. All right, I'm gonna flip this up. All right, for those of you that have joined me, thank you so much for joining me. I will finish some more cards and post them on my Facebook group and on my Facebook page. So take a look there. All the links are in my description. And I hope to see y'all next week. Thank you for all the love and the encouragement. And if you haven't already, I'd love it if you could hit the like button. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.